Can we settle down? We start business. What is it? Okay. Okay, let's start our session with a word of prayer. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and legislative assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberations in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. You may bring the nominee in. Okay. Karibu to this place of ours. I would ask the clerk to swear in the guest, our new nominee now.
I, Philip Mutua Kilonzo, solemnly swear that the information I'm going to give before this committee is the truth, nothing but the whole truth, so help me God.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kilonzo. And now I want to take this opportunity to introduce myself and ask the members of the committee to have a self-introduction, after which I'll ask the clerk to introduce the secretariat. My name is Ann Kiusia. I'm the Speaker of the County Assembly of Machakos, as well as the chairperson of the Committee on Appointment. Thank you.
I'm Stephen Mwanthe, representing Ekalakala Ward and Deputy Speaker, Machakos County Assembly.
I am Peter Kilonzo, representing Bioni Kadama Ward. I'm a member in the Appointment Committee.
I'm Jackson Daka, representing Tala Ward, also the Deputy Majority Leader of the Assembly of Machakos.
My name is Nicholas Nzioka, MCA for Machakos Central Ward, and also Leader of the Majority. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
I am Francis Kitaka, representing the Lane Ward. Welcome.
I'm Winfred Mutua, representing the Special Elect.
Good afternoon. Francis Wambua, Kavyu, Kinani Ward, Deputy Minority Leader.
Brian Kisila, Mwala.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you.
Good. I'm Judas Bilindawa, member for Matu Ward, and also the leader of Minority Side in Machakos County Assembly.
Okay, welcome, Mr. Kilonzo. My name is Joseph Mutisia, the Clerk of the Assembly. And with me, I have the Deputy Clerk Legislative, Mr. Dennis. I have in charge of Legal, Mr. Mothui. I have Mr. Mosioka in charge of Procedure. I have Mr. Dalmas in charge of Research. We have Paul Kelly in charge of Registry. I have Susan Kiluva, the Clerk Assistant for this committee. Alison, Clerk Assistant also for this committee. Then we have Lewis Mokmoki, Researcher also. We have Nora Mwendwa, Public Communication. Then we have this Jonathan Muli, Sanjay Terms. Karibu sana. Thank you.
Thank you, members. I'd like to start by asking you, Mr. Kilonzo, to introduce yourself to us by telling us your name and, of course, where you come from, your previous work experience, and how it is relevant to this particular nomination that you have been given. And before you do that, you introduce the guest you walked in with so that you can also know who it is. Thank you. Proceed.
Yeah, I've come in with one gentleman by the name Dominic Malonza. He's an expert in first aid, and also my peer at times. So that's why he's here.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. First aid, did you say that?
Mhm.
All right, it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, proceed and address to my question that I put to you.
Thank you, Chair. Like I said earlier on, my names are Philip Mutua Kilonzo. I was born in Kadhiani, location, Kadhiani sub-county, of course Machakos County in the year 1961. So I'm on the 6th floor. And I went to Kadhiani Primary School, where I did my CPE, upon which I proceeded to Machakos Boys High School. That was 1976 to 79. I went for my A-levels at Strathmore College. That is 1980, 81. Sometimes I might miss the years because, like you have heard, I'm on 6th floor. The years are many. And then from there, I was employed by the military as a civilian for some 2 years. Those days we were waiting for, there was a gap of 2 years before you joined the university. So after that, I joined the university, KU, that is Kenyatta University, 1983, and I graduated with a BA degree, second honors, upper division, upon which I was appointed as a teacher at Kangundo High School. I taught for about 2 years. From there, I proceeded and was attached to an Asian firm known as Meta Group, where I worked as their sales and marketing representative for several years. Then I went into private business, where I am until today. I've got my own company, manufacturing company. I am a B.Ed Science, Maths and Chem. So I started a company where I was applying, and I'm still applying my education, Maths and Chem. So I manufacture chemicals of all types. And that is what I've been doing ever since. Besides that, I have in the field of politics. I've tried the Mavoko parliamentary seat now twice, 2013 and 2017. Kura haikutosha, kwa hivyo that is why I've not been an MP up to now. I will still continue. Ni kura itoshangi, otherwise hakuna mtu wanguka. So from there, I've done a few other things, appointments also. I've been a director with Brand Kenya, the national government. I've also been the chairman of Mavoko Water and Sewerage Company, until maybe actually this year, when I resigned to again go and vie for the Mavoko parliamentary seat. And now here I am. In between those years, I've done many other courses, especially on leadership. I've done Strategic Leadership 1, Strategic Leadership 2. I've also done a diploma in sales and marketing by CECM. And currently, I'm pursuing a master's degree in leadership at Park University. Yes.
Okay. You did not mention the experience that you have in this area of lands, urban development, housing, and energy. Do you wish to clarify that one?
Maybe just to mention
yes.
And to continue with your question, I think I'm a nominee for lands, urban development, housing, and energy. What I can say, this is government. Governments are run by institutions, not by individuals. And really the truth is, if you have the goodwill, you are normally equipped with the personnel to work with, the expertise, and that is why we have experts in that particular institution. Mine is a policy setter and maybe an implementer of the various legislations which will come from you and from the national government. that doesn't really need me to be qualified in that particular field, because I've already have guys who are qualified in that. But because of my experience over the years and my teamwork capacity, I believe I'm the right person to be the nominee for this particular ministry.
Thank you very much for that elaborate information. Now, I would like to call upon the next member to put across their question to the nominee.
Yeah, thank you. So what are specific roles that you are going to undertake in energy and urban development portfolios?
Now, like I said earlier on, I think one of the dockets in my ministry will be energy. As it pertains energy, mostly what the department has been doing is flood lights for markets and street lights. And also, they're mandated with coming up with the necessary regulations, especially to do with green energy, because like you know, because of climate change, everybody in the world now would like to go that way. So they are mandated to come up with the legislations, also with the necessary regulations to promote green energy. Besides that, they are also supposed to make sure, like now I understand we have about only 50% lights on those floodlights and street lights. They're also supposed to work out the budgetary aspects so that they're able to continue lighting our towns and our streets, and many other, of course, many other functions within the energy sector.
Madam Chair, I think I asked him the roles he's going to undertake, and mostly he's telling me what they will do. I'm not getting who they are. So I asked him the roles he will take. So kindly, can you, if it's about the energy, what are you planning to do about that energy sector? If it is about the urban development, what will you do about the urban development sector? Thank you.
Now, my role as a CEC member, firstly, is to enforce the regulations or legislations which are coming from the national government and which are coming from the County Assembly of Machakos as regards energy, that sector. Then the other one is to make sure that the people who are working under me, I kind of make sure that they work within the mandates of those legislations to give us results. And like I said, for example, I gave you the example of energy. My energy team is supposed to make sure that the lightings on the streets are working, that the floodlights on the markets are on and working, and they are also supposed to come up with ideas on how we can tap into green energy, because that is the way the world is going at this particular stage in time.
Okay, have you answered? Thank you very much.
Yes, I'm answered, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. Could you have the next member to put across?
Thank
the
you,
question?
Madam Chair.
Sure.
Mr. Kilonzo, welcome.
Thank you.
The docket you have is very large, or it's huge on its mandate. What challenges do you envisage in future, and what is the roadmap to come out of the challenges?
Now, from what I gather, because we have not been there yet, but of course when I was nominated I had to do some research and know exactly what everything pertains. One of the aspects which I need really, and which is a huge issue here, is personnel. The departments are staffed of the relevant qualified personnel. I've also gathered that the departments are very poorly financed. They are not able to meet their obligations. Just to give you an example, like in the urban or municipalities, they're supposed to do garbage collection, and I'm told their budget was only 1 million per municipality, which translates maybe to about 20 liters per day, which of course they cannot collect garbage with that kind of financing. So especially those two are key issues which I would like really to deal with them squarely. So when I come to you as an assembly for financial help, I would wish that please you help us as a ministry so that we empower the municipal managers and we empower the other sections or departments of the ministry so that they are able to run efficiently.
I want to cite an example. The land registry that is manned by the national government personnel and also that is manned by the county government, they seem not to be cognizant that people need to be served very quickly. A simple thing like search for land, you take in circles and circles. What would you want to do about such things in the land registries?
There are certain issues maybe I would like to dig deeper into when I get into office, but one fact is for sure, land is only 30% devolved to the counties. So about 70% is still with the national government, and that is why we are talking of even the land registry of Machakos being manned by the national government people. And like being a resident of Mavoko, this is one of the biggest issues we are facing because many land matters happen and the county government of Machakos is not involved. For example, we have seen people come with title deeds for big parcels of land, and the county government is not aware, but those people are able to work with the national government at the land registry or at the house, and they're able to come up with the titles, though the county government of Machakos is not aware because they are not, or we are not directly involved. I would wish when I become the minister, I would wish to convince my governor to work through the COG because I think this is happening countrywide. The national government must, and I feel, I'm not commanding them, but I feel it's only prudent that they devolve some of these functions to the counties, because otherwise, how do you explain somebody coming from another place, coming to get land from here, and then the Machakos people, the Machakos government are not involved? I feel this is one of the areas I would request, once I become the minister, that we work together towards so that our land, the Machakos land, belongs to the people of Machakos, and that whatever happens to it, we are part of what happens to it. We are not strangers to it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next member, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What is spatial planning, and why do you think it is important to our urban development agenda?
Yeah, spatial planning has everything to do with the planning of the existing land masses for socio-economic, cultural, and even economic advantages to the society and to the nation at large. It is very important for us. And again, I would request you, because this is one of the things I would wish to push through, that when we come for funds to make the spatial plan for Machakos, because actually this is the beginning of any viable development world over. The Asian tigers beat us in this because the first thing they did was to sit down and plan. They planned their lands, they planned their nation, so that they knew what is supposed to be where. So when they started on development, there were no hiccups. The biggest problem we are facing, even right now in Machakos County, is that everybody can do anything anywhere. So at the end of the day, we'll ask ourselves, where will we have the industries? Where will we have the social amenities? Where will we have things, important things like the airports? And this is what special planning or special matters deal with. So that at one point, we know which areas in Machakos County are good for agriculture, and we demarcate them and zone them for that particular use. Otherwise, if we use the land for anything, at one point we will have no agricultural land, we will have settled on it, all of it, and there will be no food for us to eat. We will have no place for industries, and this is what special planning is all about.
Well answered, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, member. Could you have the next member, please?
Bwana Kilonzo, karibu sana. We have massive opportunities in Machakos on green energy. What plans will you recommend if you are appointed to maximize on that opportunity?
Let me begin by the shock I got. The shock I got is that we have a bill, electricity bill of about close to 90 million. And I believe that is why we are not seeing most of our lights on, even the street lights and even the floodlights. And I believe the way to go is the green energy way. We have to go the wind way, wind energy way, and the solar way. So when I am if you make me the minister, the first thing I do is we will try and reduce the power we consume. The easiest way to do that now is to use what we call LED bulbs. You know the bulbs we are using, they consume a lot of power. There are special bulbs, we call them LED bulbs, which use 50% of the current power used by the current bulbs we are holding. So the first thing I will do in order to save on finances is any bulb we are replacing must be that LED bulb, not the other one where we are using so much money, which consumes a lot of power. Then the other thing is any lighting we are going to do from now henceforth, it has to be solar, because that is the way to go. I will not go the electricity way because we have no future in that. Okay?
Well answered. Thank you very much. Now all the best.
Thank you very much as well. Next member, please.
Okay, my question is, the county government of Machakos inherited residential houses from the de facto local authorities that are rented to staff and other interested tenants. Do you consider these facilities to have been properly managed? And if appointed, what will you do to make sure that these houses achieve the intended purposes?
From what I gather and what I know, because I reside in Athi River, there are national housing houses in Athi River, and the conditions of those houses, they're pathetic. So I think on the maintenance side, those houses have been very, very poorly maintained. And I think the reason has been everybody who goes there goes for rentals. So I would advocate that if we were to come up with schemes like such, we will not come up with schemes to rent. We will come up with schemes to sell these houses to individuals so that they are able to take care of them by themselves because it is their own property. And I think that is what the national government is doing. So the way to go, way forward, is once we have these schemes, because they will be coming and they will be under this ministry. What I would advocate is we sell these houses, hire purchase to any willing Kenyan. And of course, giving preference to our let me put it, civil servants, because I think I've seen the national government way, when they construct houses, they consider their own first. So when it comes to that, I can guarantee you I'll consider the Machakos people first, because that is the way to go. And once I'm made the minister, I am going to make sure that these houses are repaired, and henceforth they will be maintained to the required standards. So again, what I ask of you, when we come for funds to, when we go through the budgetary systems to come for funds, please approve for us so that we are able to maintain those houses and they become better. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
We have cases of buildings that have been built or constructed on encroached land, and especially some are done on road reserves, others are done on riparian land. When you assume to office, assuming that you get the appointment, what are the plans, or what will you do about the encroachment?
One of the few areas I will take special direction on is when it comes to the area of public land, riparian land, and such lands which belong to the masses. I come from, again, I've already said I come from Mavoko, where what you are talking about is notorious. In fact, right now I was just questioning, there is a petrol station which is coming up on Syokimau Katan Road. It's actually built on top of the river. You know, if any one of you knows 360 Estate, I think there's a river there which comes from the airport. That petrol station is exactly on that particular river, and it's already almost complete now. They'll start running it very shortly. Now, I think we will have to give respect to public lands and riparian lands if we have any future to hold on to. And I think I will, as the minister concerned, take very harsh, measures when it comes to such issues. Because when we play around with such, I think we have no future here. Like now, that Syokimau 360-degree area, that's a disaster in waiting. Because I remember last El Nino, there was so much water in that area, and people have blocked all that river. Now we don't know where that water will go to. So, although there are many departments, government departments dealing with this, there is, of course, NEMA, there is WARMA, there are more concerned departments actually within the government, even maybe more than me, because like WARMA, the Water Resource Management Authority, they are the ones responsible for water resource, centers or lands like rivers. They should come in handy here. Then there is the issue of NEMA. NEMA, of course, before even that is done, NEMA must be consulted. So I'll look at a way of working with all the various government departments to make sure that we move as a unit and that such things will not be allowed. Those which have already been done, I think I'll have no mercy. I'll have no mercy when it comes to that, because I can almost see it. I can see the disaster coming. We'll have no mercy, but due process of the law must be followed until, if necessary, we remove such buildings from riparian or road reserves.
On the same matter of land, we have, land question is very critical, and especially in Machakos County. And land ownership is also a thorn in the flesh. We have so many people who are living in schemes, and surveys were done, but they don't have title deeds. Once you assume office, what is the commitment, or what are your arrangements that you're gonna do to ensure that those who lack title deeds can be able to acquire for the betterment of their lives?
Again, that's another shock I came to, because I realized that all title deeds, there's not a single title deed made in Machakos. All title deeds are made by the national government. like I'm saying, I think we will have to come up with a certain framework so that even us as a county are involved, that people are not getting titles when we don't. And that is why you can see even our many ranches, which have already been shared, that there are no titles because those titles must come from Nairobi. The registry is here is manned by people from Nairobi, from the national government. I think as a minister, I don't want to say push, but I will work with my governor closely so that we see it can be done, because this thing pains a lot. Especially if you come from Mavoko, you see guys getting 100 acres of land, you've never seen them around, but because the county government is not involved, you have no say in it. I believe the way forward is that we work up frameworks to ensure that counties are involved when it comes to their lands. So what I intend to do in this matter is, in the meantime, I have no choice, but I'll have to work closely with the national land personnel so that we speed up, the process of getting titles for our people. I'm also going to take charge and talk to them in a serious manner on the way, like most of the delays you talked about when it comes to searches. Those, I think, hiyo ni ile idea ya kitu kidogo, you delay a bit so that we will see what we can do. And I believe I have the capacity and the goodwill to make sure such things can be speeded, because I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be.
Thank you very much. I wish you well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next member.
Thank you. I have 3 questions, and the first question is on the security of public lands. In Machakos generally, the issue of grabbing of public land is on rampant rise. As a nominee, or if appointed to that docket, what are you going to do to ensure that all public land that are intended for government use in Machakos are secure and well protected?
Yeah, I think again, I said I'm very emotive because I have grandchildren, and I believe one of the questions when they grow up they'll ask me is what I was doing during my time when their public land, where schools, hospitals, and such are supposed to be constructed are not there. So I don't wish to have to stammer to them. When I'm given this docket, the first thing I'll do is I'll identify all the remaining, let me say remaining because like you put it, there are some which have been grabbed already. Yeah? So the low-lying fruit right now is to identify all the remaining public land and try to secure them. Then the next step would be to identify also those ones who were government land, but somehow they have been tampered with. People have settled on them or have set claim to them. Then we will work with the necessary teams within the department and within other departments of the county government to make sure that even if you have to go to ESCC, to make sure that all public grabbed land is returned to the county of Machakos. Because one aspect we can be sure of is that every land has history. It cannot happen that land belongs to so and so, then you cannot explain in between what happened. You can only explain when you got the title. Land has history, and I can guarantee you, anybody who is settled on public land, because they are mother titles of this county and nation as a whole, we all know where those public lands are. It's a matter of time, and we had better educate our people that public land is not something to joke around with, because historically you never have claim to that land. Hata ikikaa miaka 100, itafika wakati kutakuja Farao ajui Joseph, and you will have to quit that land. And this must be clear to the people who are joking around with our public lands. And I'll make sure that they know in the first place, if they are there, it's a matter of time. We are coming for that land. And I will make sure I also work towards attaining such lands, because they don't belong to them, they belong to the entire or to the entire Machakos County people, not just one individual or a few individuals.
The second question is on drainage and waste management. That's a role that directly falls under your docket, under urban planning. As a nominee for that docket, what are you going to do to ensure that we have sustainable waste management program? Because what is currently happening is just a reaction to a situation. So what do you plan to do in the long run to ensure that we have cleaner towns and also better drainage system in our municipalities and towns within Machakos County?
Right. We have 3 municipalities in Machakos County, that is Mavoko, Machakos, and Kangundo Tala. Those ones are headed by a manager, a municipality manager. The mandate of those managers is very clear. One of their mandates is on solid waste. The only thing they are lacking is they don't have the personnel, they don't have the equipment, and they don't have the finances to carry out those mandates. So the first thing I'll do when I get into office is to try and make sure that we equip those managers to be able to carry out their mandate. So again, I request through the chair, when we come again for budgetary issues, touching on municipalities, please do something so that we equip these people, they make our cities cleaner. Now, on the rest of the sub-counties, I wish to fight very hard to create more municipalities, especially Matu, Kaviani, Masimara, because as I get those ones, the population for a municipality must be from 250,000 and above. So I'll study very hard to see which ones qualify immediately, so that we begin the process of converting them into municipalities, because there's a big advantage when it becomes a municipality to the local community.
Lastly, it's something that my colleague had raised. Issue of land ownership is a thorn in flesh of many residents of Machakos County. And some rogue members of either within or outside Machakos County are taking advantage of the situation where residents of Machakos do not have clear land ownership document, and people are being swindled, with Matungulu sub-county being a case in point, Mavoko, and even some parts of Kangundo sub-county and Tala. As a nominee, what are you going to do within the 5 years if appointed to serve in that docket? What are you going to do to ensure that our people get title deeds, and for those whose land have been taken irregularly are repossessed and assigned to the right owners? Because it's a time bomb, and our people soon will have people being evicted on the ancestral land on the basis that they don't have document for a land probably where they have known as their home for the longest.
Thank you for that question. As you have rightly put it, most of our people don't have title deeds. What mostly they have is documents like allotment letters. And the issue with allotment letters, I've had many incidents at a scheme in Mlolongo known as Mulinge scheme. Once you are given an allotment letter, in the allotment letter, it's clearly written that you have to pay some amount to Ardhi House, okay, within a period of 90 days. If you don't pay within that period, the government now has a right, for example, if it was like a scheme, the government now has a right to revoke that allocation you had and to give it to somebody else. And this is what the people in Mulinge's scheme have been dwelling on. They are colluding with the people in Ardhi House. They go there, they search for those ones which were never paid for, and then because there is that loophole, they are able now to convince those people they be reallocated that land. Now, when you look at it legally, those people have not done anything wrong. So the first thing I would wish to do when I'm the CEC, we say information is power. Let our people know, if you have an allotment letter, it's your duty to pay. Don't just stay there. You have the allotment letter, read it properly. If you are supposed to pay, please pay it, because once you pay, a file is created for that land. And then the process of ownership begins. Once you have a file number, it's very difficult for anybody to come and grab that land, because there's history to that land already. You can follow it up. But if you have not paid, I don't know what will happen to that. I don't think you'll have a legal framework to follow on that. So the first thing I would wish to do is we have to inform our people, because we don't have titles. Please pay for your allotment so that you secure your land somehow. Although you don't have a title, that's the process of securing that land. The next bit is, I think, Machakos belongs to Machakos people. I feel we must reach a point where I don't want to go this way, but I feel I'm so pressed because of Mavoko that we might have to go this way. We'll have to be questioning individuals on how they got this land, and we will, follow the right channels at first. But if we realize that you are never born in Machakos and you have 500 acres, my friend, and you cannot explain how you got that 500 acres and there is no history to it, then I feel as Machakos people we have a right to initiate or begin a process of reacquiring back our land. And I feel that is what we will do, especially with the big chunks of land which have been grabbed, especially in Mavoko and in Matungulu.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Kilonzo, I've heard that you are only asking for equipment for the municipality. I came from Tala. I represent Tala Ward, which is within the area of Tala Kangundo municipality. Mr. Kilonzo, are you ready for full implementation of Urban and Cities Act? If yes, for a town to have the status of municipality, there are services which must go hand in hand with the municipality. I come from Tala. There's no water, there's no sewer, and there's no hospital. Can you guarantee the people of Tala Kangundo municipality whether they're going to get those services which go hand in hand with the status of municipality? Mr. Kilonzo, you have said that you are ready to upgrade other urban areas to municipalities. We are not looking for names. We are looking for the service delivery. If you're going to go far to Mala and the other part of Masinga and upgrade them without services, it means you are not providing what the residents are demanding for. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I think I was at Tala when you raised some issues also regarding the same, and I've been pondering about them. Now, what I can say is this. The framework under which municipalities stand is very solid. Their functions are very, very clear. If we are able to equip these people and finance them properly, they know what to do. In fact, I had a chance of talking to the manager at Mavoko. He has a very clear mind on what he wants to attain. He has already, for example, identified PPPs, you know, public-private partnerships, who can help him even with solid waste. The only thing which has not been there is, first, there was no goodwill. Secondly, there was no financing towards the same. So I believe the hiccups you are facing even in Itala is the same. If we equip these managers, I believe they are well able to do their mandate, and you see a lot of difference. Now, as a county, when I meant the CEC, you see, one thing must be very clear to us. I said I was the chairman of Mavwasco. We never relied on what was coming to us from the county. We went as far as sourcing for funds from other willing people who can help us. For example, if I had to give you an example, we are able to source for upgrade of sewer in Mavoko, not from Machakos County, but there are many other entities who are wishing to cooperate with such entities so that we get these facilities. So again, when I meant the minister, one thing I'll use my exposure to make sure that even when funds are not availed, though because we love limited funds, of course, we will make sure. We will make sure that we use other channels to source for funds so that we are able to arrive at our goals. I hope I make that clear, sir.
I think it's okay.
Yes, Mheshimiwa, proceed.
Through the chair, welcome so much, Mr. Kilonzo. But I have a concern, asking, being the last person, from your submissions, is as if you are only conversant with Mavoko only. What about Mwala, Masinga, Kadiyani, Kalama, and the other place? So please also familiarize yourself with that. Now my question is, the Constitution of Kenya provides very well that it's one of the mandate of county government to do land survey and mapping. What is your plan to help the residents of Machakos County?
Now, one of the aspects of devolution which has come to us as a ministry is the planning bit. That is fully given to the county governments, the planning bit. And I had a chance this morning to visit that department. The only thing they told me, although it was not official, I was just talking from the sidelines, is that they don't have enough personnel. And again, the issue of the collaboration between the county and the national government is also there. They're also looking forward to us to help them, create that rapport, because it has not been there. But I believe when I come in, because one thing, even when they were talking, is that there has been sluggishness and a lot of corruption in the department. I would want to guarantee you that when I am the Minister of Lands, such issues will not be there. We will try to eliminate all types of corruptions. And I'm looking at you in the eye when I'm saying this, because I'm serious on this, and you can ask me after some time. We will make sure that we reduce corruption to levels which are manageable, so that plans are done the way they're supposed to be done, and the revenues generated from them, which are due to the county, are given as due. Thank you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. I have a question for you, Mr. Kilonzo. Are you conversant with Chapter 6 of the Supreme Law?
Yes.
You are?
Oh, yes.
What is it all about?
Leadership and integrity.
Leadership and integrity.
Yes.
Would you share with us matters of integrity maybe you are involved with?
Madam Chair, if you recall, I said I've been through a lot of appointments. I've been in the political arena. Every time you have to stand for an elective post, the different government bodies were supposed to check on your integrity issues. You have to go through them. So you can imagine I went through them in 2013, 2017, 2022, when I was appointed as a chairman, Mafuasco. As far as I can remember, the last time I was in a police station, I was just rescuing somebody who had been caught on the wrong side of the law. And when I'm 60 and I've not had any issues with the police, then you can imagine, Madam.
You don't have to go to the police station to have integrity issue questions.
Not any other facet of government has ever come to me as regards integrity.
Okay.
I don't remember, and I don't think it's there.
That's better.
Yes.
You're going to be in a very, very, for lack of a better word, a very risky docket. Yeah, so if you are clean going forward, isn't it? Thank you.
Excellent.
All right, members, we have now come to the end of this vetting. But before we close, I would like to ask our guests, the nominee, if they have something to tell us or some comment to make before you leave.
Yeah, firstly, Chair, I want to thank you and your team for the working spirit. You know, there's a nice spirit in here. You don't feel like you are being coerced, don't feel like you are being pushed. I think I've enjoyed the session. I don't know, maybe because I'm a politician like most of them, but I believe they have the right spirit for vetting, and I want to thank you for that.
Thank
What
you.
I would request is that you help me become the Minister for Lands, and I believe you will not regret. When it comes to matters of land, umri pia unakuja Unajua ardhi sana sana inahitaji uzee kidogo, si jana kidogo. Unajua nikikaa kwa kikao, when I sit in any committee on land with my age, anybody would respect me, especially when I'm not a joker and I don't have integrity issues. So you can be guaranteed I'm best suited for this particular docket, and I request you to help me. Thank you.
Yeah, we believe or we hope you'll put what you've just said here, you implement it the way you have said. Thank you very much. We can now allow you to leave, and don't forget your documents, the original documents. Yeah, thank you very much.
Asante sana.
And
thank you very much.
The first aid had no work to do.